Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lazaro, Numa in the studio. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Cuban trumpet player and composer. I'm very glad you're in the studio because we did try to sort of catch up a while ago, but it didn't work. Well, we had to, something happened, but it's good to have you here anyway.
It's great to be back. Yeah.
So tell us about yourself and your music.
Well, I'm originally from Cuba, from the city of Havana, and I got inspired to play music through my uncle, which was a sound engineer, and he used to bring me to the rehearsals of a Cuban band called Irakere, which is it's a great Cuban band, and the leader of that band is Chucho Valdez, the piano player. And that really inspired me to study music. And then my dad saw that I was really happy to pick up on music, so he asked me what I want to play. I said that, the trumpet is what I really wanted to do. So he got me a trumpet. He actually made sure that he brought me to the music school. So I studied music in there. I finished my studies in there and then performed for a couple of years with a couple of bands, one salsa band, and then the other band was a mariachi band. Then there was a friend of mine that was a singer, and she was working at the time in Singapore, and they needed a trumpet player on the band that she was working for in Singapore. So she asked me if I was interested in going there, and I said yes, absolutely. So then I went to Singapore, and yeah, so basically I started playing a different type of music than what I was used to. I started doing more like Latin pop kind of music.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so in Singapore I met my wife, which is actually from Adelaide, and there was a time where we actually decided to move to Australia. And first we came to Melbourne. We spent a couple of years in Melbourne, and then we moved to Adelaide, and here I am now.
Fantastic. See, it's destiny, isn't it? When I hear stories like that, you can't sort of plan that. Life just happens.
That's it. Yeah.
The way it's meant to happen.
Mm.
Fantastic. How long did you live in Singapore for?
I think it was 4 years over there.
4 years.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was good. It's good. It's a different experience to the stuff that I was doing in Cuba. But I was happy because I was doing music as well. And then when I came to Australia, it was a completely different scene as well in here. So yeah.
Well, good thing that person asked you to, play in her band in Singapore.
Yeah.
Because your life changed forever.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Very nice. So just tell us about that song. That was an original you played.
Yeah, so that's the first song on my album, which I recorded in 2016 on one of my trips to Cuba. And it's called Santiago, es mucho Santiago, and it's dedicated to the city Santiago de Cuba. And the reason is because I always been inspired by the musicians from that city. They've been able to preserve the traditional Cuban sound, traditional Cuban music sound. And I wrote that song, and it's a basically paying homage to all the musicians from Santiago de Cuba.
Nice. Yeah. Now, look, I was just reading up on a few things, and I sort of saw. Can you just tell us what the different styles of Cuban music are?
Yes, it's many. We have lots of them. For example, we call bolero, we call cha-cha-cha.
Oh, yeah.
We have danzón, mambo. It's so many of them. And then what happened was they put everything into. They had to define the style, and then they call it salsa. But it's an easy way. So all the way you don't have to be saying this is a mambo, this is a cha-cha-cha. Sometimes you find in one song that you have 3 or 4 different styles of music. So they call it salsa these days. But really, in Cuba we have many different styles. Yeah.
So salsa, a combination of a few of them.
Sometimes you can find on they call it salsa, but really it's a Cuban music. And sometimes in one song you can find different styles. Sometimes it's just song, Cuban song. But most times you can find a bit of a cha-cha-cha, a bit of a mambo, a bit of a bolero on the songs. Yeah. But they define it as salsa. I call it Cuban music, but lots of people call it salsa. Yeah.
What's bolero?
A bolero is actually it's like the Cuban kind of like balada. It's like a ballad,
Oh,
but
it's
soft and slow.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very elegant kind of music. Yeah.
Nice, very nice. So I understand you've toured a bit too, toured Europe and Australia with the Afro-Cuban All-Stars and recorded in Havana with Adam Hall and the Cuban Young Guns featuring original members of the Buena Vista Social Club. Like you've got quite a resume and a lot of experience.
Yeah, that was on my album I've got one of the actually 2 of the members of the Buena Vista Social Club, the original members of the Buena Vista Social Club. And also, I had the opportunity to tour with the Afro-Cuban All-Stars, which is a band led by the great Juan de Marcos Gonzalez. He was going to tour Australia and also Europe before the Australian tour. And he said to me, look, I want you to, play the Australian tour, but the only way you can do it is if you actually come and do the Europe tour.
Right.
Because otherwise he had to get different musicians all the time. So I flew there, we rehearsed in Germany, and then we did the Europe tour. Then I came to the Australian tour. It was a very great experience, yeah. And also Adam Hall is a great friend of mine from Perth.
Yeah,
he's been
here.
He's actually been to...
Yeah, he came on my show a couple of years ago. A long time now. 2 or 3 years, let's say.
Yeah, so we, also a couple of years ago, we went to Cuba and we recorded an album over there with some of the guys from the Buena Vista Social Club, such as Barbarito Torres and Guajiro Mirabal, which is a trumpet player.
Yeah.
A few of those guys, and the album hasn't been released yet, but I think he'll be doing that soon.
Yeah. So who are the people from? You said 2 people from Buena Vista.
From the Buena Vista, on my album, you mean?
Yeah. Who are they?
So I have Guajiro Mirabal, which is the trumpet player, and then I have Javier Salva, which is a saxophone player, original from the band. Yeah.
What I mean, look, how do you answer this question? But what do you think it is about Cuban music that's so sort of passionate and inspiring? What is it that we love about it? Something rhythmically with our soul and our body. We just want to move to it. It just makes people feel alive. Like, how would you explain it?
I think for me, I see it as for me, all the different styles of music are connected in some way. But for me, the Cuban element in that is that the music is syncopated. It's really different to some of the other styles of music. And I think naturally when you listen to a song or someone tune or a cha-cha-cha, it naturally makes you want to dance. And back in the days, I think, through Perez Prado and Cachao, the mambo and the cha-cha-cha were huge around the world. And these days we are fighting in Cuba to preserve it, but of course the newest styles of music are coming in and they taking over. But there's, a lot of that still.
Yeah.
In Cuba, yeah.
Very nice. Have you got another tune for us?
Yes. So I would like to play a danzón, which is sort of like a slow, one of the slow Cuban music genres, but it's a very elegant kind of music as well. So it's on my album as well.
Yes.
And it's dedicated to one of the trumpet players from also Santiago de Cuba. His name was Inaudis Paisan. So I made this danzón dedicated to him.
Well, what's it called? This
Danzón Paisan. It's number 6 on the album. Yeah.
very nice. Thank you. how do you go about, sort of composing and writing? And, we were just saying before we went on air that music's you have to be, when you're doing albums and creating music, it's got to be right. You can't force it, you can't plan it. You just, you're inspired authentically. So how does it work for you, your music?
I try to actually make songs that are related to things that happen to me.
Yep.
And the process, it changes all the time. Sometimes, a little bit of melody comes to my head and then everything starts from there. Sometimes I have the chorus of the song, so I actually first have the chorus and then I go back to try to figure out what the verse is going to be.
Yep.
Sometimes, I sit on the piano and then I try to play a few, chord progressions that I like, and then based on that, I try to come up with a song. So it changes all the time. But I always try to keep in mind the elements of the music that I love the most, which is the Cuban music, and try to keep the clave on my head or the congas playing or those elements, and it always end up bringing me to compose something that sort of sounds Cuban,
Yeah. So, I was just going to say also you play music, you're proficient in piano rather, piano.
Yeah, no, I'm not a piano player, but in Cuba, when you go to school, you actually have to learn how to play piano, and it's really useful. I mean, I remember being a little kid, and my first thing was, well, what do I need the piano for? And I didn't really understand at the time how important it was. And then, years pass, and then you realize that it's a very important tool for music. And then it's always been there. And I'm really grateful now that I had the chance of learning the piano.
So that's a prerequisite at school for the young ones to play piano. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So unless, obviously, if you choose to be a piano, like a piano, that will be your thing. But then if you play any other instrument, you actually have to learn piano, like a complementary instrument.
Is there any other instrument that you have to learn at school, or that's compulsory, or is it just piano?
No, it's just piano. Yeah, it's just piano. But most of us actually learn through the time that we are at school. We learn a bit of percussion. So
At school or a music school?
At the music school, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So just regular school. Is it very music oriented? Like do you have a couple of extra subjects of music in Cuba, like growing up?
Yes. So
it's strong in the culture, isn't it?
It is.
Music.
So the way it is, you go in the mornings. I mean, I remember in my case, I used to go from 8 a.m. to 4:30. To a normal school to learn, math, Spanish, or the normal subjects, and then from there my dad would pick me up and would take me to a different school, which was a music school, and then I would be there from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m.
How many days a week?
From Monday to Saturday,
Every day?
Yeah, every day.
About Sunday?
Yeah.
Wow. That is awesome.
It was very different, but it was...
That's amazing. So let's talk about your Fringe show. Now, I understand you've got dancers as well. You got a 6-piece band. You got stage dancers. You got the audience dance floor.
Yes, I'm really lucky that I'm gonna have a couple of dancers, which I had the honor to work with them in a Cuban show that's been here, which is called the Bar Buena Vista Show.
Yeah.
And the names are Eric Turro and Chantel Turro Martinez. They live in Melbourne, and they were here for my show last year, and I'm bringing back again this year. So
Oh, so you're bringing them over?
Yeah.
Wow. Now, did I see somewhere in my notes researching you that you did work with La Bomba? Was it La Bomba?
Yeah, La Bomba, the salsa, yeah.
The school?
The school,
dancing?
many times. Yeah.
And
Actually, I played recently for the 21st anniversary at the Gaffman. It was a massive thing. Yeah.
Wow, they put on good shows.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Latino Grooves as well. You perform with them?
As well, yeah. I've worked with them as well. I know Hugo, and I used to play in Hugo's band, Macumbia.
Oh yes.
So
when was that?
That might have been maybe like 2-3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For how long?
I played with them. In my case, wasn't for a really long time because I actually did a salsa competition that they used to have a while ago. Was called Clave contra Clave. So I played with Hugo's band there, and then when I moved to Adelaide, I played for a little bit with Macumbia as well, but that was more like a Latin pop kind of music. It was a great band.
Yeah, that's right. I remember sort of seeing them performing, and also at was it Casa Blah Blah years ago though. We're going back to 2015 now. So you weren't with them then?
No,
you weren't performing with them then.
No, I was in Melbourne at the time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So how long were you living in Melbourne for? You
I think I was there for
2
2 years. Yeah,
Yeah,
2 and a bit. Yeah.
How do you, comparing Melbourne, Adelaide music scene?
I think they're both great. I think it's funny, when I was in Melbourne and I started telling my friends that I was going to move to Adelaide, most of them said, to Adelaide, what are you going to be doing in Adelaide? But then I came to Adelaide and lots of beautiful things are happened to me here in Adelaide, music-wise. I had the opportunity of meeting, quite a few amazing musicians here in the singing Adelaide.
Yeah.
Recently we played Her Majesty's Theatre. We did the Night of Jazz, which was going to be originally for the International Jazz Day, and then it had to be postponed because, the COVID.
Yeah.
So last couple of weeks now, maybe, we play. Her Majesty was a really beautiful concert, and I think it's great. Also, when I was living in Melbourne, I actually had the chance to meet lots of great Adelaide musicians living there.
Exactly.
So that was sort of the beginning of starting to establish connections between musicians, Adelaide musicians in Melbourne, and then also musicians here in Adelaide.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's like that, the music scene, isn't it? Once you sort of start, you've been doing this, 15 years, is it?
Yeah.
15?
Yeah.
So you get to meet, it's like a family, the music world, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
You're all connected somehow.
Yeah.
And you have spoken about the cultural diversity in Adelaide and that sort of thing. So if you can just talk to us about that, like you've been, really happy with that side of it in Adelaide?
Yeah, so basically what happened was, when I was in Melbourne, pretty much all the time that I spent there, I was playing on salsa bands. So I didn't get to do much out of that Latin thing. And then when I came to Adelaide, I was very lucky to get involved with Nexus Arts as well. And they've been doing an amazing job putting together multicultural groups of people. Recently we played Australia Day at the Entertainment Center, and Nexus made this orchestra, and there's people there from India, from Pakistan, from Iran, myself from Cuba. So it was a really beautiful experience, and for me it's been great because being used to play Cuban music with Cuban musicians, or Cuban music with musicians that love Cuban music, I didn't really have much not much out of that. And then coming to Adelaide, I had the chance of performing with other people from all cultures, learning a lot from what they bring also, and then even making my music now on a bit of a different way. So I always try to bring my flavor from where I come from, but open to I'm gonna be playing that with different musicians that actually bring something different to it, and it's a great thing.
Exactly, it's good to be open-minded like that.
Absolutely,
because you don't know what can come from it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of that, I did see, correct me if I'm wrong, plans for the second album would potentially explore the Cuban makeover for the music, some of the AC/DC songs.
Well, it's actually I'm not sure that it's actually doing some AC/DC kind of thing, but just being brought
Similar.
to that kind of thing, and see how we can bring that idea into the Latin thing or the Cuban thing. It's going to be a bit challenging. But it's going to be great also being open to, what everybody can bring to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So have you got a plan for that, or are you still working on it?
I actually forced that. I mean, I've been trying to make that in a very natural way. Because I think as soon as you start forcing the magic goes away. And, originally my plan was going back to Cuba to record my second album. And then I thought, hang on, I'm here in Adelaide. It would be a great idea doing a second album here with musicians based in Adelaide as well,
Well, we all love AC/DC. When I did see that, I thought, gee, how interesting. Who would have even thought to do that? But that's awesome.
Let's see what we can come out with.
Let's see. All right, got another tune?
Yeah. So this is a tune called Mi Profe Yo, and it's dedicated to my trumpet teacher, which he used to be really popular at school, because in a year time he probably would teach us 2 or 3 times, because he was always traveling. He was a really famous trumpet player in Cuba, and he was always traveling with his band. But the times that he actually managed to come to school, he would actually give us 3-4 hours lesson, and then after that he would take us to one of his rehearsals, so we would actually spend the whole day with him learning a lot. So this tune, I wrote it for him, and so it's called Mi Profe Yo. hope that's not too loud.
No, it's actually really good. It's amazing what that little add-on does. Okay, so any hellos or shout-outs to anyone? There's a few people tuned in. Did you want to say hello to anyone here?
Actually, why not?
Yeah, go for it.
So I'd like to say hello to, for example, my wife, which is probably watching there, my little girl, Valentina, which I like to play a song that I wrote for her as well.
Okay.
And also to Emily Tallock from Nexus as well, which has been doing a great job. Yeah.
Now, is Noni still at Nexus?
I think he does, yeah.
Awesome.
So, also shout out to Noni as well.
Absolutely. I'll just give a few shout outs here. So here, we've got Stan tuned in, Philip, DeMarco, Thelma, Josh. Thomas says that's awesome.
Thank you.
Despina Lucas, Peter, Jeff Fennick, Steve Markovic, Alberto Diaz Farinas. Do you know that name?
Yeah, he's my brother-in-law. He's the husband of my sister-in-law.
Gus
Arajo?
Yeah.
He actually, Gus got a great band in Brisbane as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's called Chukale. I don't know if you've heard of them,
nice.
but they've done lots of good things as well.
Beautiful.
The Latin music,
Michelle Ortiz, Acosta, Colin Burgess, Alana says Animo Acere.
Alejandro Espino, maybe.
What does that mean?
Well, he's saying, have a good time there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Great, says Marie Lafan.
Marie's actually been with us as a great photographer and a great friend from Perth as well.
Okay.
So she was actually in the trip that we took to Cuba, and she was the one that took actually that photo you've got there.
Oh, on the album. Which?
No, the one that you've got there.
Oh, this photo here.
That's
an awesome photo.
Yeah, that's Marie's Lafan. So credit to her. It's a great photo.
So I don't know if we can see here. Do you want to hold it up a bit closer to the camera?
There you go.
So they can see the photo.
All right, there. That's Marie's Lafan.
Nice. And the cars.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Look at that. And that building. Where was that?
That's actually in Havana City.
Yeah, you can look at the buildings. The buildings and the colours are beautiful, aren't they? They like colour and pastels and red, pink, green, the cars.
Some parts of Cuba are like that, and in Havana, the architecture is actually very beautiful.
It is.
And you find some place where the buildings are a bit run down, but some places they've been able to preserve it and do a great work with
exactly.
it.
Exactly. You'd want to preserve it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of
you
course.
wouldn't want to knock them down.
No, of course, yeah, but.
What was up to? Gia, did I say Gia?
Yeah,
Marie,
Gia.
Yes. George, Emilio, Court, Francisco, Orestes, Teresa, Pablo, Jeff, awesome player. Jeff Miller says awesome player.
Oh, thank you, Jeff.
There's a few messages in Spanish, which did you want to read them?
Sure.
Because then you can say it properly.
Oreste Machado, which is a great trumpet player from Cuba, so all Orestes, and Pablo Calzado, which is also a great Cuban drummer that lives in Singapore, and he used to play in the band when I came to Singapore. He was a drummer there.
Yep.
So, Yolanda Mendez from Mexico is an amazing dancer that works for Latino groups with Hugo. So,
Okay.
the singer of the Afro-Cuban All Stars is connected as well, Emilio, so saludos, hermano. There you go, so thank you everyone. There you go.
Perfect. All right. So we'll jump back on. So you got one last song? Is that
Yes.
right? Yeah, one last song. Okay. So before I jump back on air, is there anything else you want to share, or just go to your Facebook page for updates?
Yeah, well, I was wanted to talk a bit about the Fringe show, which is happening on the
26th.
26th and 28th, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll definitely talk about that.
Yeah.
And anything else for the rest of the year, like that you want to discuss, or you just tell people to stay tuned to your Facebook page?
Yes, so I'll be putting everything I'll be doing there.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Okay. So you can. Where we go here? So Adam Hall, we were talking about Adam before.
Yeah.
He's just tuned in. Adam Hall. He says the great man to you.
And I said to him, he's more Cuban than me.
He's what?
He's more Cuban than me.
Yeah.
He loves Cuban music,
That's
and
it.
yeah, I think the album we did over there is gonna do really good. Some amazing music with amazing musicians.
Yeah.
So I
they
can't
are
wait.
good
I can't wait.
musicians.
I haven't even listened to it, but I think it's gonna be great once he releases it.
That's it. Yeah, they had a Fringe show about 2-3 years ago. That's when he came in with a band.
I think if I'm not wrong, he was here last year, so for Fringe.
Oh, was it last year?
Yeah. I mean, he's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so you can start any time.
Yep.
And I'll do a fade down of this song now.
Thank
you
you.
so much.
So that was a song called Valentina, dedicated to my daughter.
Oh. How old's your daughter?
She's 4 years old now. Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
Cute. You got a couple of kids, haven't you?
I've got 2, yeah.
Two.
So I've got a little boy that is about to turn 2 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very musical, both of
Both
them.
of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
how can they not be? And that is your wife? Like, what is she? Is she into music?
Yeah, she actually started violin, and every now and then she doesn't dedicate to play. She's not a professional musician, but every now and then she picks up the violin and plays. Lovely, great.
Beautiful.
So
Very
we
nice.
have some music jams at home. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Rightio. So we've got your show coming up. If you want to tell us about that, so me Cuba. Is that?
That's it, Cuba. Yeah, it's a show we're gonna be doing it now for the second time. We did it last year.
Yep.
With dancers I mentioned before,
Mhm.
Eric and Chantel Tudor Martinez. And it's basically a journey through the different styles of Cuban music. It's going to be a bit different this year. Last year, I wanted to show a bit of the romantic side of Cuban music, where we play some boleros, some dance song. So this year, I thought I want to focus more on the music for people to dance a bit more. I mean, not that people can dance a bolero, or anybody can dance a bolero, can dance a dance song. But this year it's just gonna be more Pilon, Mozambique, Cha-Cha-Cha, Son Montuno. And I think we're gonna have a dance floor as well for people to dance. It's gonna be great in that sense. And And so the shows are the 26th and 28th of Feb. The times are, I think I told you that.
Yes,
I think, yeah. So
that's right. So we've got Friday 26th at 7:30.
7:30, yeah.
And then the 28th, Sunday 28th, two
2
shows.
p.m.,
Yeah.
2 p.m. and then 5 p.m. on
That's
the
right.
Sunday, yeah.
That's awesome.
So I'm really looking forward to it, and yeah, I think it's gonna be great. So I invite everyone, that is free. I want to go on a hour
Yeah, exactly.
music journey.
That's right.
Yeah, it should be good. Yeah.
Did you say Mozambique is a style?
Mozambique,
What's
yeah.
that?
Well, we got lots of different styles as well. Mozambique was by Peo African as well, and it's a very energetic, kind of Cuban rhythm with a lot of percussion in it as well.
Oh, right.
And we're gonna be doing as well some pilon. Some of the rhythms that people might not even be aware of, but they're really, nice musical rhythms, and everybody can dance along to it.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a great show. Yeah.
And they've probably heard the rhythms too. Before, like sometimes, like I didn't know what that was, but we've probably, when I hear it, I'll probably say, okay, yes, I have heard that somewhere, in the performances or when we've been to these salsa nights and, these different shows.
Yep.
We've heard it, we can recognise it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very nice. And anything else, just go to your Facebook page for updates.
I will be putting everything in there, and the next thing I've got is a Fringe show, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And from there, I think I'll be focusing on working on the tunes to record the second album as well. And
looking forward to that.
Yeah.
All right, that's exciting.
Super. It's keeping me busy there.
It is. So actually, how can people get this?
Yeah, if they come to the show, I'm gonna have some CDs available there. Also, they can stream it from the platforms as well, like Apple Music or Spotify. It's in there. Yeah. And the album is called Me Cuba, so like it's just exactly the same as the show.
Thank you. Can you just hold that one up also?
Absolutely, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So there's the album in there, which was recorded in Cuba, and it was very tough time because we went there and I had everything planned to do the album in a week and a bit, and then what happened was Fidel Castro passed away, so they put the country in mourning for 9 days, and it was a bit stressful, but I managed to get the final thing just the day before we had to leave Cuba.
What year was that?
2016. Yeah.
2016,
Yeah.
yes. So people really were affected.
Well, the thing is, like, you couldn't do anything there, and then yes, some people were affected. I had my plan to do the album, and that didn't actually went quite the way I wanted to because of the situation there. But at the end, we managed to pull it off, and then here it is, in Cuba.
Well, thank you very much for coming in.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. Yeah, and we get our tickets on Fringe Ticks.
That's it. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, was it 1, 6, 7, and 8 that you played, wasn't it?
1, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I was meant to play 2, which I pressed 1 accidentally. So
but that's fine.
Sorry about that.
No, that's all right. But it's different anyway because people will be able to hear the whole thing.
Yeah.
There. I'm playing it just on the trumpet. But
Exactly. So that's all right. Cool. So if you want to say goodbye here before I turn it off.
Sure. So thank you, everyone. It was good to being here in the program, and then see that you all were connected and there watching it. So I can see Emily is connected in there. Emily is Natalie's sister from La Bomba, so
right.
so an amazing dancer.
Very nice.
So thank you, everyone.
Awesome. So here we go. Here's number 2.
That's it.
Number 2 is.
Well, that's actually number 1. Yeah. That's number 1.
Number 1. Oh dear. Okay, I pressed it 2, but the CD. It seems like it really wants to play this one.
Okay.
I did press 2. Right, thank you.
No, thank you for having me.
No worries. Turn this off now. So ciao, ciao. Bye-bye. Oh, can you say something in Spanish?
In Spanish.
Sorry, I forgot to ask you that. If you
Right,
could
yeah.
say something here.
To the camera?
Yeah.
Bueno, quiero agradecerle a todas las personas, las personas que están mirando y comentaron en español. Bianca me acaba de pedir esto. Quiero agradecerles por conectarse y los que estén aquí en Adelaide, si tienen el chance de venir a mi Fringe Show el 26 y 28, será buenísimo verlos ahí y bailar, disfrutar y pasarla bien. Y muchas gracias por sintonizar el programa y les deseo lo mejor. Bendiciones.
Perfect. Perfect.